Planet. I'm down here at Occupy Gig Camp. We're just south of Jasper Avenue at 102nd, and I felt it was necessary to come down here after the blog post I wrote for KikkiPlanet.com with regard to my feelings about the movement. And we're going to go into the camp, meet a few people, and hopefully find out the real message behind this movement.
I'm expanding exponentially. I am consciousness without identity. I am many things, made of everything, but I will not.
Worldwide, there are massive nations where a group of people smaller than some households get to decide how things run. They're given the power and they're given the wealth, and I think that it's about time they're given some of the blame as well.
I'm basically here because I decided I'm in my last year of high school, and I'm probably going to be having student loans in the next few years, which means I'm, basically enslaved. I don't want to work 5 days a week at a job that I hate to provide a future for children that are just going to be doing the same thing in an ongoing cycle of people working toward nothing, basically. I'm not a very large supporter of anything negative or negative signs or yelling negative things, but I'm really proud of the community that's created. The idea that we're in this vicious cycle and anything alternative is considered, not legitimate or reasonable.
Now, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but I wrote a rather scathing piece about Occupy Edmonton, and I had a lot of people in the social media community say to me, why don't you go down, talk to some people, give them a chance to share the message with you. So that's why I'm here, because now I really want to give organizers a chance to say, this is what the true root of the message is, this is what we're trying to accomplish.
The real root crystal message isn't necessarily the most important thing here. The power of money and oil over our politics, the destruction of the middle class, the unfairness and inequality in our society, and the access to the various systems that we need in order to live, and how that's really difficult for people who make less than $300,000 or $500,000 a year. The movement in the States identified and took action against the root source of the problem, the financial moguls and the corrupt Wall Street system that actually finances and controls all of North American government policy. It's about providing holistic care to the entire system, and that means including everyone. Aboriginal rights, water retreatment rights, women's equality, children, improved children's services, improved health, the ability of people to provide themselves a life wherein they're not working their life away to stay alive. We're looking for a healthy quality of life for middle-class working people. Our financial system is structured a little better than the Americans, and that has protected us from some aspects of their collapse. But the policies here are the same. The deconstruction of regulated systems, the infection of free markets by unlimited capital, creating money out of thin air for the benefit of generating wealth in private bank accounts that never does anything physical or real in the world. People they don't need to have a core single message. They aren't the ones that screwed it up, and they aren't the ones that need to give all the solutions. But they're here talking about the problems and generating ideas, and also making an example of how they can produce those ideas in a fair and equitable manner for everyone that involves a lot of participation and equal respect on all parties, as opposed to the negative nonsense that we see in our government system today. There are laws out there that get broken and pushed and bent, but what are they really? A corporate policy installed by someone else to control the movement of people? I mean, we're sitting in a park peacefully. We're taking better care of this park than the actual companies that own it. I mean, we're really, really taking care of this place. And we have good, positive relationships with all the levels of authority. We're being very safe. Everything here is very happy and functional and productive. And at the same time, we're trying to get the message out about all these equality issues in an inclusive sort of way. It all comes down to the corporate greed and mismanagement in the government system, and the inability of regular people to engage in that system. People at home, sitting at home, they are the 99%. They are among us.
Yes.
They're not necessarily fully engaged and awake with it yet, but they're one layoff and one mortgage payment away from being down here. My name is Mike Thomas, and I write at ADHDcanuck.ca.
There were things that the organizers said to me that I definitely agree with, and there were things that I didn't agree with whatsoever. I think what impressed me most was the young people that were there, and how for their age, the 18 and 16-year-olds, speaking very clearly about their fears for their own futures and the futures of their children. That touched me deeply. These aren't a bunch of slacker kids camped out in a park for no purpose. I understand that it's pretty much a conglomerate of complaints that is best summed up by saying the entire system is a mess. The way we're living as a result of that mess is wrong, and if we continue wallowing in this mess, our future's not looking too bright. I think their message is being lost by trying to address too much. They don't have any solutions to offer. It's pretty much an outcry of emotion. I have an issue with the protesters believing that laws don't count. I'm a law and order person, and if you want to ignore the laws of a country, you're speaking about anarchy. That's not revolution. They're upset about being evicted from this privately owned park, but the fact of the matter is that you cannot occupy private land in this country. I still strongly believe that we need to occupy a little bit more gratitude in this country. I think that if you get lost in the pessimism, you're lost in a place from whence no solutions come. No change comes from pessimism. However, I'm definitely going to give a great deal of thought to what I wrote in that blog piece, and perhaps examine some emotions that I felt while I was at the Occupy site, and examine some of the words that resonated with me and that made me think about what the true message of the movement is.
For me, I'll look at everything around